Hello again, and thanks for tuning in. I'm going to continue to talk about crisis reactions, and today I'm just going to tell you a story about a woman that came to see me a few years ago. She was in a crisis, and this is what happened. She had made an appointment with me. This was when I was working as a counselor and had a office where people could make appointments. And this woman, she rolls into my office in an electric wheelchair, and she stops right in front of me, and she looks at me, and before even introducing herself, she just says, "I'm going to die." I greeted her and I said, "Thank you for sharing." I said, "Please tell me, what are you going to die of?" And she said that she has a diagnosis called ALS, which is a serious illness that will lead to death. So I knew that this woman had a difficult situation that she was in. And so I said to her, "How is that for you, knowing that you're going to die?" And her response was, "You see this wheelchair?" And I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "It's a mechanical one." And I said, "Yes." "So am I," she said. "I am mechanical. I don't have the ability to feel. I'm a very intelligent woman," she said, "and I know I'm going to die. Up here, I know I'm going to die, but there is a blockage. I know I'm supposed to feel something and I'm unable to feel. I feel like a robot." When she had told me that, I could not help but asking her, "Listen," I said, "can you remember any time in your life when you did feel?" I said, "because you're saying that you have a desire to feel, so that makes me believe that you have some kind of a memory of that you have been able to feel." And she looked at me and she said, "Yes," she said, when I was younger and my husband was alive, him and I, we used to take 1 week off. We were both workaholics." She said, "We don't have any children. We were married to each other and our careers. That was our kids." And she said, "But once a year we took 1 week and we went to a mountain resort, and we stayed there, had fantastic food, and then during the days we walked in the mountains." And she said it was magical because when we were up in the mountains and saw a creek, saw a reindeer, saw nature and the horizon and everything, she said it was like something happened within us. And she said that week was always so good because we used to talk about our feelings. We used to make love. We used to wake up. It was like that week was so important to us. When I heard that, I said, "You know what?" I said, "Do you mind if you and I go on a little excursion?" And she looked puzzled and said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Yeah, let's go together." And I said, "Tomorrow," I said, "is my day off, but I still want to go out with you in nature. Can you arrange," I said, "with your transportation with a wheelchair and meet me at this nature reserve?" And I gave her the directions. The next day, I met her at the nature reserve. At that place, there is a big bridge that goes over a lake, and there is a viewpoint in the middle of the lake on the bridge. And I took her out there and I said to her, "Listen, I want you to sit here in nature and just look out over the lake, and I'm going to take a walk and I'm going to come back," I said, "in about 30 minutes and just let you be in nature for a while." And so I did. And she sat there. And after about 30 minutes, I came back. And when I came back, this woman in the wheelchair, she was sitting there and I could see her hands shaking. And I said to her, "Talk to me," she said. What's going on?" And she said, "Ulf," she said, "I am so afraid. I am so afraid of dying." And then she started crying. What had happened here? What had happened was that nature had evoked feelings. It had evoked things that needed to come out. And this woman is sitting there crying and feeling afraid. it was a magical moment. And what I did was, if you have listened to this video blog, you know what I did. I allowed it, and I said, "It's of course you should be afraid, and of course you're allowed to be afraid. It's normal to be afraid when you are in a crisis, when you know that you're going to die." And she just sat there in her wheelchair and wept. Why am I sharing that? Because this fear was something that she needed to face. But we were also talking last time I saw you here about harboring feelings. And harboring is also something that we can do in nature. I know so many people that when they are in crisis, they need to be out in nature. They need that peace that comes with that. So for some people, physical activity, physical touch, but then also nature can be one of those avenues that work for people. This woman, she had a lot of fear that she had to go through in the crisis that she was in. But being in nature was so good for her. In fact, the rest of the time that I was with this woman before she actually died, and that took a few months, our sessions, we did meet out in nature at that nature reserve. Didn't matter if it was raining, we always found some shelter, and we were sitting in nature and talking and sharing and being together with her and I in nature. Fantastic way for her to harbor these things. It was really important to her. I'm not saying that this works for everybody, but we need to find the way to harbor our crisis reactions. I'm going to talk more about this because it's such an important issue. How do we put up with, how do we harbor those feelings that come up when we are in crisis? I'll talk to you again. Have a good one.